As far back as I can remember, I'd always been into video games. I remember when my brother bought me my first Nintendo Game Boy back in 1991, and it changed my life. I took that thing with me everywhere. I always had it, and it kind of just created something in me where, it just kind of gave birth to a love of video games. And growing up, I moved on to consoles like the Genesis and Nintendo and things like that. But obviously, as you get older, you start to put some of those things away and you don't pay as much attention to them. But then something real strange happened a couple years ago that forced all of us to have to stay inside. Couldn't really go out, couldn't really enjoy a lot of the things that we used to. And so video games became life for a lot of people. It became life for me in a lot of ways. I started to collect a lot more heavily, and I started to play games too. But deep down inside, I think there was a part of me that really just wanted to go back out there and just enjoy life, see the world, do the things that I was able to do prior to lockdown. And I think, for a lot of us who did enjoy those times where we were out and about and we were seeing things and we were doing things, being at home wasn't the best thing. But life continued and life goes on and things change. And throughout the pandemic, a lot of us went through a lot of changes, and so did I. My family, we went through changes and we grew. We had an addition, and suddenly I found myself in this place where, I was enjoying the games and collecting the games were fun, but I kind of found myself wanting to take it into a little bit of a different direction. And I started to look at video games as a way as maybe I can do a little bit of a side hustle, make some money on the side, do a little bit of reselling. And I want to say that as the lockdown tightened, I just found myself doing more and more of that, getting more and more into the buying and selling of games and flipping, really. And then, that's pretty much what it became for me. Just buying, selling, flipping. And it was cool. It was great. I want to say that right at the height of the pandemic, there was just so much enthusiasm around video games, retro games, and I totally bought into that, right? I was constantly, out and about looking for deals, trying to see where I could get the cheapest games and do a little flip and, how I could build my collection and bulk up. And that's a lot of what it became about, and that's really what it's been for me up until this point. So I spent the bulk of this year, 2022, just flipping, buying stuff and selling stuff while being able to add, a lot of really cool things to my collection. And, I've definitely added some grails and a lot of the really, high-end games are games that I actually had and played as a kid. And, collecting and reselling was just a really great way for me to kind of enjoy some of that nostalgia, right? And I think a lot of us bought into that. A lot of us really kind of gave into the whole video game hype and the video game craze and everything like that. But I think as time has gone on, we've started to return to this kind of like new normal. And not only that, the market's kind of adjusted, right? So it's really not like how it was a couple years ago where it seemed like there was so much more out there. People weren't as aware of, the kind of, values that video games were going for at the time. And it was a lot of fun. It was exciting. And there was a certain level of joy to it. And I think as time has gone on, it's become a little bit tiresome. For one, the deals aren't as plentiful, right? You're just not seeing the same kind of stuff that you would see out in the wild a couple years ago. And then when you are finding things out in the wild and at stores, everything just seems priced so high. And so I think as we return to a new norm, a lot of things have shifted. And so my focus has shifted, and I found myself actually selling a good bulk of games to do something different. And so I've started selling off my collection to start a business. And yes, a big part of that is going to be me, it's going to include doing some renovations. And so I used a lot of the funds that I gained through flipping video games to start renovating my home. And if you've followed the channel, I don't think I've gotten this transparent before ever, but I just wanted to do something different, right? And so I've taken some of that video game money, some of those sales, and I've actually used it to start building an Airbnb business. Yes, folks, and I know this is so random, right? Because I'm always talking about video games on this channel, but you can actually use video games and that side hustle to do bigger things. And so that's what I decided to do. And so now I'm in the stages of doing construction and converting one of the portions of my home into a space that I can actually use for Airbnb. There's a lot of regulations in my area with regards to how you can actually use or actually participate in Airbnb as a host. And also Airbnb has made a lot of changes. I think they've changed their algorithm, and I think they've introduced some new things that has made it a lot easier for folks who have never done Airbnb before to get involved in the business and kind of dive into it. So I'm really excited, and I'm really stoked that this whole passion for video games and my ability to flip has been enabled me to kind of get into this Airbnb business. And so I'm really excited to take you all along with this journey. This is something that I do plan on launching in 2023. I do want to launch it right, and so I'm just putting a lot of energy and effort into making sure that I set it up right. So yeah, that's going to be the direction, and so I can't wait to take you all along for that journey. But yes, this wouldn't be the Y2K collector video if I didn't show you some of the last pickups, right, that I got here, and I have gotten a few good ones over the last couple days or so, and these are actually games that came in from GameStop. I actually took advantage of the buy two get one online as well as in store, and I know ordering games off GameStop.com is a risk because you never know if they're going to send you complete in-box games. But I had the greatest luck this time around, and I'm really excited to show you some of the really cool stuff that I got from GameStop at a really great deal. So I really milked that buy two get one, and I've also got some other pickups that I'll share with you real quick. So I won't do any more jabbering and or blabbering, and I'm just gonna kind of get into some of the GameStop pickups and a few other pre-orders that have come in as well. Okay, so we'll go through some of these almost like near final pickups. We'll start with the 3 sealed games that came in from GameStop, and was stoked to get these. So a couple of limited run games. First is Castlevania Collection for the PS4. So this one was great to get, all those Castlevania games. And then we got another limited run game here, Chasm. So this is a really cool 2D pixelized RPG, kind of like a action RPG game. Really fun. Check that one out. And then also got my hands on a new one, Valkyrie Elysium. They had this one on sale, so took advantage of that. So got those sealed ones on the PlayStation 4. And then I was really impressed with the pre-owned games that I got from GameStop, because they're usually pretty thrashed. So we'll start with Attack on Titan 2. Got that on the PS4, a really good one to have. I do have Attack on Titan 2 Final Battle for Xbox One, but I didn't have any of the Attack on Titan games for PlayStation 2. So got that one there. That was my first pre-owned game. Second pre-owned game was Ys 9. This one came with everything. I'm not going to open it, but it does have the manual, all of the inserts, and the soundtrack. So was stoked to get it in like new condition, right? So pre-owned copy there. And then the free game, which was the one I was really stoked about, Ys 8 Day 1 edition on the PS4, complete in box, has the soundtrack as well in like new condition, not a tear, not a snag. It does have that little lame sticker on the bottom, which I'm not too happy about, but still really good condition for GameStop, so I'm not crying over here. Then I also had another pre-order come in, or not a pre-order, but an online order. I got this is Record of Lodoss War is what this is. Couldn't figure out the name for a second there, but yes, got this for the Switch. This is a good one to have. I recently spoke about this game, got it on the PS4. Is a revamped version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night, so I would check it out. And then from my local game store, took some games in, made some trades, and walked away with a couple of gems that I think, in my opinion. First is Ninja Gaiden on the NES. This is going into the collection. Ninja Gaiden, a really clean copy on the NES rather, so I'm gonna have that. And then I went super nostalgic on them and got my hands on a complete in box Neo Geo Pocket Color. It's been so long since I've seen this, and I've seen it brand new. I remember when one of my friends had it back in 98 or 99, and this is a real classic console. You know, I've been playing it thus far, and I think I've been playing Metal Slug, what is it, first mission or second mission? One of them. But that does it. That does it when it comes to some of these final pickups. Got a lot of really good stuff towards the end of the holiday season. Let me know what you're getting. I am the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.